Yeah, hi team. Good evening. So today we will see promoting Exadata database machine into OEM. So in that there are three parts actually. So promoting database machine into OEM, it has three steps. One is agent deployment. Next is Exadata plugin installation, and the next is promoting DB machine. So this is one part. So promoting DB machine and Exadata plugin installation is second part, and first part is agent deployment. So you have to do these three things in order to promote DB machine into OEM. So before promoting actual DB machine into OEM, so you need to deploy the agent, and then you need to install the Exadata plugin. So now in today's class, let us see the agent deployment. Agent deployment. So this agent deployment, I prepared an SOP for agent deployment. Yeah, of course, we have three SOPs. One is for agent deployment. Second one is for Exadata plugin installation. Third one is promote database mission. So let us jump into the first SOP. So agent deployment for the first time in a server. Okay. Why it is first time I used the word here means just now, you completed section one. What is section one? 8 lectures we have completed in section one. All talks about real-time configuration of Exadata. I mean, in real time, how Oracle ACS support and field service engineers, they will install hardware and software of Exadata that I have explained from lecture 1 to lecture 8. Now, during lecture 1, during lecture 1 and lecture 8, you are just coordinating between ACS support engineers or field service engineers and your network administrator. There is no much you will do. But coming to once the section 1 completed and database is created, then your work will start as a DMA. So the first thing you have to do is promote your database machine into OEM to monitor it. How do you monitor it? So let us see. So how do you first how do you promote the DB machine? So there are three steps. So first step is agent deployment. Let us see. So this agent deployment, how it works. See. So see here, team. Let me take the cursor. So agent deployment, how it will work, this is your OEM server. This is your OEM server. And you are promoting this Exadata database machine. You are promoting this Exadata database machine into this OEM server. Okay. So what is this OEM server? This OEM server can be a small server on HP hardware or Dell hardware or maybe any VM, any VM. In this, your OMS is running. OMS is running. OEM, you can, from this only, you will see that OEM page, OEM graphical user interface page is there. No, that page you will get from this OEM 13C. So you will, access this OEM 13C in two ways. One is either you can SSH, I mean directly land on the server using putty, or you can web access also. You have web access means just the page you are seeing, that OEM graphical page, right, targets and all, that is a web access page. Okay, so now let us see how to install this agent deployment. So we need to monitor hardware components in this Exadata in this OEM 13C. We need to monitor. So how do you monitor them? So which components will be monitored? Tell me, how many hardware components are there? There are DB components we need to monitor, and there are cell components we need to monitor, I mean cell servers, and there is Cisco switch we need to monitor, and there is Rocky or IB, InfiniBand we need to monitor, and at last we need to monitor PDU as well. We need to monitor PDU as well. Okay. So into to monitor all these hardware components and to monitor the software components within this hardware components. What are the software components in database? Like your database targets and your database targets. Host itself you will monitor, and databases also you can monitor. ASM you can monitor. So in cell also you can monitor all hardware components like CPU, RAM, everything, bandwidth in database server, CPU, RAM, bandwidth, all this stuff you will monitor from OEM 13C. For that, you have to inject agent software who will monitor all this stuff in this Exadata. Who will monitor? Some agent will monitor. Some agent will monitor. So this agent will be pushed. Initially, we need to deploy. Means that deployment is nothing but you are injecting agent software from this OEM into this database servers. No need to inject into Cell, Cisco, Rocky, or PDU. You just have to deploy agent in the DB servers. If you have two DB servers, you have to inject two DB agents into the two database servers. Two database servers. Uh, so here DB01 and DB02. So there are two database servers. In the two database servers, you have to 1 minute. So in the two database servers, you have to inject the agent software. So how to inject means how to deploy the agent software, we will see. So simply you are injecting, you are pushing, what you are pushing? You are pushing agent software from OEM 13C into the DB node 1. You are pushing agent software from OEM 13C into DB02. So how to push this? How to install this agent software from OEM 13C to DB servers, we will see. Once you install DB servers, agent you install into DB servers, DB server will be monitored by this OEM 13C. So once you install Exadata plugin, then the agent that is installed in the DB servers will monitor remaining components also. Remaining component means like PDU, Cisco, and Rocky switch or IB switch and cell servers, everything, not only DB servers. So where we are installing agent software, tell me, in DB servers, DB01 and DB02. So where you will install Exadata database plugin? Yes, you will install Exadata database plugin in DB01 and DB02. Okay. Now let us see how to install agent software. Okay. So go to uh, SOP, how to deploy agent. So this is in 3 steps. I explained in 3 steps. If you closely see how many, one is prerequisites you need to check. All these are the prerequisites. Okay, starting from 1.1 to 1.8, you need to satisfy all these prerequisites. And once the prerequisites are done on the DB servers, then you need to test the firewalls. And once the firewalls are fine, then you need to go ahead and go ahead and install the agent software in the database nodes. So first let us see prerequisite checks. Okay, in the database servers, what you need to do? Okay, you need to create the users on node 1, create a user called agent 13C, or it can be, if it is already existing user Oracle also you can use, or any other also you can use. So my terminology I always use like agent, grid agent 13C. Grid means it's earlier this cloud control OEM 13C was called grid agent 13C. So I'm using that old terminology only. It's a grid agent. Okay, so we call it as a OEM software. Okay, this can be Oracle also, can be any other user also. So I identified a free user ID 12146. Here I issued this command, nothing is returned means, so from 12146 I can use because it's nothing attached to any other user. So using that 12146, here I have added the user in the operating system, and I have added one more secondary group, that is o install. That is o install, and now it has grid 13c has is the part of o install as well. O install as well. So now let us go further. User is created on both the nodes. Why this user? This user is responsible for agent agent monitoring. Okay, agent software will be installed by this user only, this operating system user only. Once the user is created, then you need to create the base directory for agent installation. That is U01, that is U01 agent 13c. So here EM13c I am going to install OMS. So agent, that's why just create a directory U01 agent 13c. Here into this directory, the database software will be copied. Let us say on the DB server here, you have this. On the DB server, first DB server, no, you have this. What is U01 agent 13c directory is there. Agent 13c directory is there. So in this directory, the agent software will be pushed from OMS into this directory during installation. Okay, the same way in the second DB node also we have to create U01 agent 13c. Okay, so in this second one also agent software will be pushed. So two DB servers will have two directories, and agent 13c, who is the owner of this directory? Grid agent 13c. Just now we have created grid agent 13c user as well. Grid agent 13c user. Second node also we have created grid agent 13c user. Grid agent 13c operating system users. And this is the first step. User creation is the first step, and and this directory creation is the second step. So these two steps we have completed. We have completed. Next, third step is password reset. So this grid 13c, you just have to verify, you just have to give some password. So change the password. And fourth one is check the password. Exa01 to connect to Exa02 second node, and you SSH using grid 13c. Then if it is you are landing, you are on Exa01 now. So using SSH, if you land on second node with a password, means that password is working. So like this, you can test the password. Okay. And here also second node to land on first node, second node to land on first node using the password and test this password is working fine or not. And other thing is security limits. Security limit means, see, this user grid 13c should have some Exadata specific limits. That limits you need to put it into etc security limits.conf. So if you do not know what limits you need to put, just Exadata is ready now, right? So you will have some Oracle user. So Oracle user also have some limits in this file. Just use the same limits that are there with Oracle user here for grid 13c. Okay, Oracle user also will have soft limit, hard limit for core, soft and hard limit for nproc, soft and hard for no file, soft and hard for memlock, and software stack. So same limits you just have to here remove Oracle put grid in 13c, remove Oracle put grid 13c, like that. Take any other operating system, working operating system users limits, and replace with agent 13c. So security limits are completed. Once security limits are completed, then check the password. So see, actually immediately if you create just before, it will not expire. It will not expire. But if you are late, you created user, and if it is after some days you are going to install the agent, means maybe 13c user might have expired. The user that is used to install agent will might have expired. To check that, just use this command. Use this command, or you can use other command also, like a chase minus l grid 13c. You can use other command, chase minus l grid 13c. So you can use either first command, or you can use this command also. So then it will show you like this. If password expires, give some date, then you make it non-expire by these many days. Otherwise, if the password is expired during installation, you will get this error. During installation, you will get this error. Okay, so you can make 9999 days. These many days password valid not to expire using this command, chase command. Chase capital M, chase minus capital M. These many days password will not expire, and the password of grid agent 13c will not expire. Like this, you can change. Okay, so that is one. This is one of the issues I faced. That's why I have included this point here. Check password not expired, and it's not locked also. How do you check the user is locked or not? Using pam underscore tally 2. So failure should be 0. If it is 1 or something like that, you have to use this one to reset. How do you reset? So resetting is, this command is to reset. To reset palm tally, this one. Then see, if there is one failure one here, let us say if it is one like this, if it is one like this, then that user will be locked. Grid agent 13 will be locked and your installation will fail. It should be 0. If it is 1 there, you can reset like this. You can reset like this. So grid agent 13c should not expire and should not lock. It should have proper limits. And you need to have a valid password. So these are all the prerequisites coming to the user and directories. Now there is other prerequisite, important prerequisite, that is firewall rules. Firewall rules. So you need to make sure from your network team the below firewall is open. What is that firewall? See, let me take this full screen mode. So the firewall is like this, like this. See how many firewalls you need to open. From cloud control console to the target host. Target host means DB servers. And from target host to cloud control console means, see this. In either ways, you need to, like from from cloud control hosts to this OEM13C, some firewall you need to open. And from OEM13C to the cloud control host, you need to open some firewalls. So what is this from and to? What is this firewall? Let us see. First, let us see from cloud control host. From cloud control console. From cloud control console to the database server. To the database server. Which ports need to be open? Okay. Two ports need to be open. One is 22 and other one is 4903. Okay. This 22Y, this is to push the software from cloud control console, I mean OEM server, to your database server. Initially in the database server, U01 agent 13c directory just before you created nothing. Okay. During the deployment, if you click that deploy option, agent software will be flowing, will be traveling from OEM 13c server and it will go and sits in U01 agent 13c directory. How it will travel from here to here? If and only if you open 22 port, 22 port. And once the 22 to port open, so then this is not 404903, this is a 1805 or 1835, let us say 1835, not 4903. It's in reverse direction, I will tell it later. Another port is 22 and other port, let us see here which port I have given. Other port is 1835. Other port is 1835. See, one is 22 port, other one is 1835 port. Okay, so why 22 port? 22 to push the agent software to the database nodes. This is a 22 port. 1835, this is for monitoring purpose, continuously monitoring purpose. So these two ports must be open from where to where? From 1030 to 18240, from OMS server to the DB servers. What is the DB server IP? 172.35.8. If you see our DNS records, if you see the DNS records in earlier classes, you know what is the DB server IP? So DNS records 122. DB server IP are 172.35.8, 172.35.9. These two are database server IPs. You have to recollect the old classes. Okay. So if you see that firewall now, these two are DB servers 172.35.8, 172.35.9. This is 1032.18.240 cloud control server. So from cloud control server, so from OMS, this is 10. Let me write here. This is, what is the IP? 1032, 1032, 18, 240. This is the IP of your OEM server. Your DB server IP is 172, 172, 30.5.8, first DB server. Okay. Other DB server 172.2.30.5.9. So from 240 to 5.8, you need to open port 22. And from 240 to second DB server, you need to open port 22. At the same time, once using port 22, once the agent software is shifted from OMS server to the DB servers, then you need to continuously monitor, right? For that, you need to open 1835 port also, 1835 port also. So from this is 1, this is 2. How many ports we need to? 2 ports, 22 and 1835. See that? So if you see in our document, firewall is from 240 to the database servers, you need to open 2 ports, and I have written here the purpose also. Purpose also. Again, see, once agent software is pushed, and once the agent is being monitored, okay, once the agent is continuously monitoring, so which it has to monitor in DB servers, it has to monitor databases, right? So it has to connect to the DB instances. How it will connect to the DB instances? It needs VIP communication, local listener, and it needs scan communication. Both it needs. For VIP communication, we need to open firewall on the local listener, and for scan communication, we need to open firewall on the scan IPs. Why? Why? See, on for VIP communication, always VIP ports are we configure. Show parameter local listener, if you give, you will get local listener IPs. Show parameter scan listener, if you give, you will get scan IPs. So how do you connect a client, any application, how it can connect to the database? Either using local listener or using scan listener plus local listener. It can use only local listener, or it can use combination of scan listener and local listener. Means scan listener only if you open, then scan listener will hand over the connection to the VIP and it will connect. Okay. So in these two ways, so okay, I can explain you here one more time. In previous classes I explained you. Let us say this is a database. Okay. So this is client application. How it will connect this client application to DB? Using VIP. Using VIP means whatever IP you specified in local listener. What is the IP? First DB node. Let us say this application wanted to connect to the first DB node, DB01. Okay, using VIP. How it will connect? So you need to open firewall between this application server and this database server over the VIP. First VIP, what is that? 1064.710. 1064.710, you need to open the port default 1521. If it is not a default, you need, if you are using any other port, in other port means just you need to give the command this one, parameter show parameter local underscore listener in your database server, in your database. Then it will show you ex01 dbo1 minus vip colon, let us say 1801, it will show. So you are using the 1801 port for local listener. That port you need to open between application server and database server. Listen carefully. This 1801 must be open from application server to database server. So this 1801 is opened on which IP? EX01DB01 VIP. What is the IP of EX01DB01 VIP? 1064.710. Then only your application will connect it to the first database instance, because the configured port is open on the configured VIP in the first database, right? So if the application wants to connect to the second DB server, if the application wants to connect to the second DB server, in the second instance you might have configured this VIP EX01 DB02 minus VIP on the port 1801. So you have to open this 1801 port from this application to the database, and this is the IP. What is the IP? EX01DB02 IP is this 11, 1064.711. Okay. So you need to open VIP communication, and if the application is connecting, if the application is connecting your database using scan, then you need to issue show parameter remote listener. That show parameter remote listener will have like this. Let us say exa01 ex01 hyphen scan. EX01 hyphen scan, it has three IPs. So your firewall, and it will give the port also. Port is 1801, let us say, same port. So this 1801 port must be open from your application server to the database server over the three IPs, because scan has a three IPs. Then, so you need to have a scan communication and you need to have VIP communication as well. So open the firewall on for local listener, open the firewall for scan listener. Then your agent can monitor your databases also. Agent can monitor your databases also. I think you know all this stuff. If you do not know, listen to the same sentences repeatedly, you will get to know. To connect to the database, either you need local listener connection or you need scan listener connection. If you are using scan listener, make sure you open the local listener also, because scan listener finally it will hand over the connection to local listener. It must be open, you know, internally. But if you are using only VIP, if you are using only VIP to that particular node, no need to open scan listener. That's why in some environments, application support guys, they use only VIP in their SQL developer, and they will directly connect it to the database from their application, from their SQL developer. They will connect to the DB node. They will open just VIP. No need to open scan. Direct communication. Okay. In their connect string in the SQL developer, if they have to use scan listener, then they have to open this VIP also, because this scan may give the connection to first VIP or second VIP, right? So this all I explained in previous classes. So these two firewalls you need to open, and so these firewalls are from OEM console to the database servers. But what is this? This is from database server to cloud control. Means 85, I mean reverse direction. DB servers to 240 server means upload port 4903. Because this agent, so far the agent is installed, let us say, from OEM 13C, the database software, sorry, the agent software, it came and it installed on first DB server. Second DB server is also, that agent software came and installed on second DB server. Now, agent is deployed. Agent is pushed or deployed from OEM 13C. Like this agent is like a secret service agent sent by OMS, sent by OEM 13C. This secret service agent will monitor the entire database machine and send that information to the OEM 13C. So to send back that information, this agent needs to upload the data to agent 13C. To upload that data, we need one more port to open, that is 4903. So in reverse direction, I mean from 8 to 9, 8 means DB server IP, 172, 172.35.8 and 172.35.9. From these two DB servers towards OMS, You need to open 4903 because your secret service agent deployed by whom? Deployed by OEM 13C, pushed by OEM 13C will collect some information, matrix information, and it will send that information to OEM 13C. In fact, it will, upload the information to OEM. To upload, we need we need one port to open, that is 4903. Okay. So if you see, once the OEM is installed, once the OEM is installed, you can see like this. I mean, upload port, like I will show you, uh, you know, 4903 port, you would have recollected by this time root.sh. See, here you observe the upload port. Where is the upload port? This is 4903 is upload port. Upload. And for monitoring 1835. Okay. So 1835 is from OMS to DB servers. 4903 is from DB servers towards OMS. DB servers towards OMS. Okay. Now let me go to installation part. Installation. So yeah, you need to open 4903 for upload purpose, and you need to check from DB servers routing also. Routing. So how do you check routing? From DB server towards 1030 to 18240, you have a routing enabled. You have a routing enabled from 172.35.1 from gateway. 172.35, what is? This is a database server gateway. Okay, management network gateway. So from this gateway towards the destination, see, towards this destination, you have routing via this ETH0 interface. ETH0 means 172.35.8 here on this DB server. On this DB server, ETH0 means 172.35.8 management interface. Okay, so like this, you need to have proper routing from second node also towards 240 from database gateway, from ETH0 interface, particular that management interface. Traffic will be allowed if you have a proper routing. So you need to make sure route also must be there on the DB servers like this. Okay, this routing entry must be there on DB servers. Okay, yeah. Now once the firewall is open, how do you test it? How do you test it? You can test in two ways. One is checking using SSH, you can, or checking using telnet. Either you can use telnet or SSH. So see, team, careful. How to check? Port 22 open. We are testing three ports. One is port 22, one is 1835, other one is 4903. Port 22 is from OMS server to DB servers. Port 1835 is from OMS server to DB servers. Upload port is from DB servers towards OMS. Okay, in reverse direction, upload port. Okay, first port 22, check it. Port 22, you're on OMS server now. See, this is the OMS server 240. From this towards DB server, your SSH, you are doing SSH. This SSH work, it needs a password of agent 13C, grid agent 13C and DB server. If you give the correct password here, you will land on the DB server. So from OMS server, you are landing on the DB server. From OMS server 240, you are landing on the DB ADM01. Means you SSH'd. SSH is working. Means port 22 is open. Port 22 is open. Same here. You are on 240. You are SSHing to DB second node using gridazine 13C just before we created this user, and you have given password. You landed on second node now. Being on 240, you are accessing second DB node means port 22 is open. So this is how you will check how the port is 22 is open or not. And if you want to check using telnet, you will telnet like this. How do you telnet? You be on 240 OMS server. This is a telnet command, curl minus v telnet. Telnet, towards 172.35.8. First DB node 22 is connected. 22 is connected. Means port 22 is working fine. The same way you are on 240 server, you are connecting to 172.35.9 second DB node over port 22. It is connected. Means 22 is working. So this is how from this IP to this IP, from this is a from this is to port is 22. Okay, so port is 22 is working from this server to this server. So you are using telnet command here. You can use direct telnet also. If see here why I used curl, because telnet is not installed in our Linux. If there is a telnet, directly here you can use telnet space 172.35.9 space 22 like this. Telnet, you know, telnet space 172.172.35.9 space 22. Okay, so this will connect like this. This will be connected like this. So using these two ways, you can ensure port 22 is open from 240 towards database servers. Okay, then how do you ensure port 1835 is open? Okay, so you can ensure if the agent is not installed. If the agent is not installed, means on DB servers, the agent is not installed. Here there is no agent running. Here there is no agent running. 10 170 to 35 there is no agent running. Okay, so then you cannot telnet this port. You cannot telnet 1835 port. You cannot telnet 1835 port. Agent must be up and running fine. Agent must be up and running fine. Okay, so now let us see that. If the agent is installed, after agent installation, only you can telnet like this 172.35.8 to 1835 connected. Connected. Okay. So like this, see, connected will come. So once the agent is deployed and it is brought down, then you can see connection refused. If it is brought down, you can see the connection refused. So the prerequisite for 1835 to be telneted is agent must be installed. But without installation, if you want to check, you have to believe your network engineer that he has opened the port, and then you go ahead and install the agent. You can go ahead and install the agent. You are getting what I am telling. Okay. So port 22, port 1835. So port 22 SSH service is already running here. By default, on top of OS layer, SSH service is running. That's why this is a telnetting. That's why this is telnetting. But for agent, that agent software is not running. You are going to install it now. That's why telnet will not happen. It will happen if and only if you install the agent software. Okay, so if you install the agent software on 172.35.8, then only 1835 will telnet from OMS server. This is what I want to tell you. Okay, so and next, upload port 4903. How do you check it? Okay, so this is from DB server. See, this is in reverse direction. From DB servers, from DB server to the OMS, you are checking the port 4903 is open or not. So for this, you have to, here also you can check the routing. Here also you can check the routing, and you are telnetting. See, you are on DB server towards 240. The port is 4903 connected. Connected means 4903 port is open from here to here to what, to 240. So from 240, from DB nodes to OMS 4903 upload port is open because it is connected. So same thing you can see here. Same thing second node also. See 4903 is open from DB node 2 towards OMS, because how do you say? Because it is connected. Because it is connected. So like this. Like this, you can ensure ports are open. So these three ports are important. Why you are opening, you need to know as a DMA. As a DMA. So what we have opened so far, let us see one more time. What we have opened? We have opened port 22. We have opened port 22. We have opened port 1835. We have opened 4903. We have opened 4903. Okay, 4903. This port 22 is to inject the software here. Okay, you can telnet even before agent installation because SSH service is running on DB servers. This port 1835 for monitoring purpose from OMS to DB servers. This 1835 you will telnet if the agent is running here. The way SSH is running, here agent should run, right? Service should run. Then only this 1835 you can telnet from OEM 13C to this one. And this 4903 from DB servers towards OMS upload port. This we call is upload port. You need to open from DB server, from DB server to OMS. I mean 240 server. This is a 240 server. This is a 8 and 9. Okay, I think you understood clearly. What is upload port and what is monitoring port 1835 and what is uh, 22 port to push the software from from OMS server to the database servers. Now let us see the installation part. Let us see the installation part. Okay, so how do you install? Very straight process, very simple process. Just go to this setup icon in OEM. This is a OEM console. OEM 13C Cloud Control console. This is OEM Cloud Control console. In this console, setup and then add target and then add targets manually. Okay. If you click add targets manually, you will be taken towards this page. Here you have to click this option. What is the option? Install agent on host. From where? From OMS, because you are on the OMS. From this OMS, you are picking some host and pushing the agent software. Pushing the agent software. Okay. So how do you do that? Come down this one. So here, when you install agent software, when you click that install on agent host, then you will be asked to add this. See here there is an add button. Click add and search for first node and second node. Because the SSH is open already, from this OMS console towards DB servers, you can identify these two servers, these two DB servers here. So these two DB servers you will add here means in these two DB servers you are going to install agent. In these two DB servers you are going to install agent software from this OMS, from this OMS. Now go ahead further. Now this is a fresh installation. This is fresh installation you are doing. Okay, so here you no need to give anything. This will be filled automatically later, and these details automatically populated here. If you see this agent software is 13.3 will be pushed into this host. Okay, there will be second line also. If you select the second one like Linux 64 and agent software version and second host also. So this is a different screenshot I have taken. That's why only one host is selected. This is for two hosts. This is for one host. Okay, actually, ideally, here you need to see the two hosts because here I have selected two hosts. Maybe I have removed one or maybe it's a different one. So here I can see only one host. Means you are installing agent software from OMS to this host only. From OMS to this host only. What is the version you can observe? 13.3. If you closely observe, 13.3 agent software will go and sit in this DB node. So this is a DB node. This is a agent software version. Okay. So will be installed in the host. Will be installed in the host. I think you are following. Okay. So next. See, you need to fill this, details. So what details you need to fill? First, you need to fill, okay, 13 point in the previous screenshot, 13.3 agent software is going towards DB node EX01 DB01 EX01 DBADM01 DBADM01. Okay, but here in which directory it should be installed, that directory this is you need to give. What is this? Slash U01 agent 13c directory. This directory already you created earlier and in prerequisite steps. Okay, if you give this directory name, the below will automatically populate it, because under 13c this agent underscore inst will be created. Agent underscore inst inst directory will be created under this agent 13c. Okay, so following what we are doing. Okay, so you are telling OMS that please send the software from OMS towards towards DB server, and keep in U01 agent 13c folder. That's what we are telling here. And now you need to give port also. So if you see here, let me make it a bigger. See, if you see here, agent 13c base directory we have given. Here I have given clearly. We need to give this directory, and this will automatically comes in once you give the above directory. Okay, I have written this also. And you need to give the port, that is 1835. If you see within that box, 1835 is there. Why only 1835? Why only that? What is the default monitoring port? Like 1521 to connect to the databases, default connecting port is 1521 for database connectivity. The same way in OEM, what is the default port to monitor? The default port to monitor is 3872. If you see in this box, there is 3872. 3872 is the default port, monitoring port. There are default ports for particular services in Linux. Okay, in OEM to monitor, this is the default port 3872. Okay, and in Linux 22 port is for SSH, 80 port is for HTTP, 443 port is for HTTPS. Like that, each service will have some default ports, as you know. So this SSH we already opened for monitoring 3872, but we did not open 3872. We opened firewall for 1835. Why? Means 3872 is already occupied by some other agent on the same DB server. On the same DB server, 3872 is already occupied by some other agent. That's why I have given 1835. Why only 1835? If 3872 is not open, 3872 is not available, then why only 1835? Means here if you clearly see 1830 to 1849, within the box it is written like this: 1830 to 1849. Means if there is no availability of 3872, then the default range will be this one. Next default range is this one, 1830 to 1841 49. AOMS tries to get any port in between this range. Okay, so in between this range 1835, that's why I opened 1835 port. Okay, either in first step you have to open 3872, but it is occupied by some other agent. Okay, some other agent. Actually this 3872 is the agent coming from Vararum. This I will tell you later in coming classes. Okay, so next port range available, OMS will look into is 1830 to 1845. Any one port you have to choose. I choose in between 1835 port and I opened it. What is this 1835 port or 3872 port? 3872 port is the monitoring port, and 1835 is the monitoring port. Here two agents are running. One is running with 3872 monitoring port, one is running with 1835. This 3872 running port, in coming classes I will explain you what is that. Okay, so 1835 port I opened for monitoring purpose. Monitoring purpose, you also can open in your office the same port. Okay, so here, here, so you are giving 1835 port here. Give the, and these details you no need to give because you are not running any manual scripts during this installation. OMS will take care of everything. Okay, come down, and finally you see what is happening. You are installing 13.3 software in this DB server EX01 DB01 in this directory U01 agent 13c, and the monitoring port is 1835. Monitoring port is 1835. So these are all the details on DB server. These are all the you are on OMS and inputting the DB server details, so that from OMS the software will go and sit in this DB server. That agent will be installed, and that agent, like a secret service agent on behalf of OMS, it will monitor database mission. It will monitor database mission. Right now, it's like a, see, one secret service agent sent by OMS sitting in database nodes and monitoring there and sending back the information to OMS. This is how you remember. Okay. So if you, let us say you are in a village, and you are in some city, let us say. So you have your village. So you want to know what's happening in village, right? So you are in Hyderabad, let us say, or you are in Delhi, let us say. You are in Delhi city. Your native place is Hyderabad. So from Delhi city, you are sending one agent and deploying him in Hyderabad. Okay. For that, to send him from Delhi to Hyderabad, you need 22 port flight. You need 22 float port. That is a flight, let us say. So once port 22 is open, then he can fly on the flight and it will be installed in Hyderabad. Some directory should be there, right? Some area. What is the directory? U01 agent 13C directory. Hyderabad is nothing but DB01, database node 1. There is another city, Chennai, let us say, or Mumbai. Mumbai is DB02. That is a second database node in Exadata. Okay. So you open another port from Delhi to Mumbai, another port 22, another flight. So agent software will travel through port 22 and sits in Mumbai. Where in Mumbai? U01 agent 13C directory. And where in Hyderabad? U01 agent 13C directory. Now your two agents are getting installed. So you are telling. So once the software is landed on Mumbai or Hyderabad, so then flight and all it will go away. Then you have to have a communication, right, between Delhi and between Delhi and Hyderabad. Continuous monitoring will be through Wi-Fi, let us say. For that Wi-Fi, continuous Wi-Fi from Delhi to Hyderabad, you need 1835 port. That is a monitoring port. That is monitoring port from Delhi to. Then from Hyderabad to New Delhi, this agent should send some information, right? Agent should some information. So for that information to send back to Delhi, upload port is required. That upload port is 4903, should open in Delhi. Okay, should open in Delhi. Okay, so this is how you can remember. Okay, so like once again, maybe I will tell you this example. Here, this is Delhi is a city, Hyderabad is a city, and Mumbai is a city. Okay, so you want to know Delhi is like your OMS. It is a OMS, and Hyderabad is your database server one, DB01 in Exadata. Hyderabad and Mumbai are in Exadata, let us say. Okay, this is a DB02. DB02. Now, if you want to observe what's happening in Hyderabad and Mumbai circle in Exadata, then from Delhi, you will deploy one agent in Hyderabad. You will deploy one agent in Mumbai. So this agent initially will be flowing through 22 port using flight, let us say, and he's also 22 port. So software will flow from 22 port and land in Mumbai. Which directory? U01 agent 13C directory. U01 agent 13C. Same here. Same U01 agent 13C. You will have your agent software installed. So agent software is installed, let us say. Agent software is installed, let us say. Once the agent software installed, there should be continuous monitoring from Delhi towards the installed software. That is through 1835. Let us say one-way Wi-Fi from Delhi to agent 13C 1835. So you need to open firewall for port 22 and port 1835 from Delhi to Mumbai or Hyderabad. Mumbai and Hyderabad. So towards these two, what is Hyderabad? 172.35.8. What is this one? 172.35.9 DB nodes. What is the IP of Delhi? 1032.18.240. So 1030 to 18240 towards 172.35.8, you need to open port 22 and port 1835. And from 1030 to 18240 towards 170 to 35.9, you need to open 22 and 1835, because this is for continuous monitoring. This is to ship the software initially. Okay. Now, now, now this is in one direction. Once you deployed agents, right? So I told you this is Delhi. This is Delhi, and this is Hyderabad. This is Hyderabad, and this is Mumbai. Okay. So now your agents are running here. These agents will connect some information and send back to Delhi. Okay, over which port? 4903. Over which port? 4903. This 4903 is on Delhi actually. So from Mumbai to Delhi, you need to open 4903 port. Okay, otherwise information from Mumbai to Delhi will not go, will not be uploaded. Okay, so this is how you need to interpret the firewall in case of agent. In case of agent. Okay, yeah. Now let me go ahead. So now you understood, right? What is this 1835 port? What is this 1835 port? This 1835 port is the monitoring port. Is the monitoring port. Now come down. Now, all details together here. What are all the details together here? See, all details are you are installing the agent in first node and second node, and the agent software version is 13.3. It will go and sits in agent 13c directory, and the monitoring port is 1835. Okay, so these details are not required. Initially, it will use some credential, agent 13c credential. So it has given some named credential name. This and all in future classes we will see. Okay, so you have all the details of simply to say you have given all Hyderabad details here or all Mumbai details here. So OMS will send all this to Hyderabad or Mumbai now. Let us see how it will send now. So initially you see in database servers under U01 agent 13c directory, there will be nothing initially. If you see here ls-ltr, there is nothing. Why? Because not at all installed. The secret service agent not came from Delhi to Hyderabad. So it is nothing here. It is nothing here. Now what you need to do, you just go further from this deploy agent. You have to click this option. You have to click this deploy agent option. Once you click this deploy agent option, there will be three steps. There will be three steps that deploy agent. What are the three steps? One is initialization, another one is remote prerequisite check, other one is agent deployment. I mean, from Delhi to Mumbai or Delhi to Hyderabad, if the flight has to go, then there will be some initialization checks, right? And there will be remote checks, right? And then only it will start traveling. It will start traveling. So let us see what are the checks and all. What are the checks and all? Okay, see here. So during initialization phase, what are the checks? These two checks will be carried out. What are the two checks? One is remote validations and other one is transferring agent software to destination host. Okay, so it will check whether it can connect to the remote server or not, and then it will transfer. Flight will start and it will transfer the agent software to Delhi or Mumbai. Means from OMS server towards DB servers, the agent software is getting traveled, pushed from OMS server to DB servers. The agent software is being pushed here. Okay, okay. So agent software is pushed. That is the part of initial, you know, initialization. So I told you right. During initialization, if you see there is nothing here, initialization is in progress means some agent software is going towards database servers. Database servers and transferring agent software to destination host. Green mark means already agent host transferred. Already agent software is transferred to the target host. Means initialization phase completed. Now what is the second phase? Remote prerequisite check. What is the remote prerequisite check? Let us see. During remote pre-C, earlier there is no earlier there is no software here. If you see the ls minus LTR in the earlier case in agent 13C, there is no software. Now flight landed with secret service agent. I mean software is landed here. Software is landed on database server. Okay. Now once the software is landed on database server, during remote prerequisite checks, what it will check? During remote prerequisite checks, there is one, two, three, and more below. So let me go below and show you more. So during remote prerequisite checks, it will check all these checks. What are the checks? See, agent, if this is one check, this is one check, this is one check, this is one check, one check, one check. You can check later all this. What are all this? So it has to be all green, all green. Only one exception it will come is remote validations. This one, all green actually, all green. Above also all green. Above means this one. Okay, but this one is a warning. Some warning came. The warning is root.sh you need to execute manually because grid agent 13C cannot execute the root.sh script as root because grid.agent 13C user using this user only, right? We are installing agent using grid agent 13C agent using this only we are installing agent, but this is not in sudoverse file. If this is in sudoverse file, it can execute root.sh as sudo. But this is not there in sudoverse file. So no problem. This root.sh at the end of deployment, there will be root.sh prompt. You need to execute that script. So that script you can execute manually, connecting, open another session, open manually this root.sh script that is popped out by deployment agent installation, that agent installation deployment. Okay. So or you can put grid agent 13c into sudoverse file, but no need to put, just let it be like that, and this root.sh script you can execute manually, so you can ignore this warning. So during agent deployment there are three major steps. One is initialization completed. As part of initialization, software landed on the DB servers. As part of remote prerequisite checks, all checks are fine, operating system level packages are available, etc, etc, node is valid, everything is fine, and remote validation checks pass except this root privileges on grid agent 13c. No problem, there shouldn't be root privileges for grid agent 13c. You can manually execute root.sh. Okay, and now let us see what is the third point. What is the third point? What is third? You see, agent deployment. First is initialization, second is remote prerequisite checks. So this is done, this is done. Now agent deployment, actual agent deployment. Let us see what will happen. Okay, right. So go down. See, once this comes, once this comes, you need to continue and continue on all hosts. If it is a one host, continue. If on multiple hosts, at a time you can you can push agent software to multiple hosts and you can install multiple hosts. 8 database nodes also you can install in a single click. Okay, in that case, continue all hosts you need to click. So once you click this, what happens? Once you click that, now I told you there are three phases already. Initialization phase completed, and a remote prerequisite phase is completed, and now the third one is agent deployment details. Okay, so what agent deployment details, and we will see. Final phase is agent deployment. So what are the phases in agent deployment? Okay, now, so initialization completed, remote prerequisites completed. It's not green, only warning because root.sh script. Okay, that we can manually execute. So agent deployment, we have these steps. What are all the steps? Installation and configuration, secure agent, root.sh, collect log, and cleanup. These 5 sub-steps will be carried out under step 3, step 2, step 1. These 3 steps are agent deployment steps. Agent software will land on database servers and it will perform remote checks. And third one is actual deployment. So what are the steps in actual deployment? 3.1. You can say 3.1 is installation and configuration. Second one is secure agent 3.2. Third one is root 3.3. Fourth is 3.4. And fifth is cleanup, means software whatever pushed that will be cleaned up. 3.5. So in 5 steps under third deployment step, your agent software will be installed. So far, if you see now earlier you saw only this software, but during the deployment, see, many directories are getting created, means this is the installation and configuration is taking place. See, this is the agent installation directory. Okay, response file created, additional directory. When you click that deploy, this all will happen automatically. Automatically, right? Now, see, this is the software ADA TMP. Okay, see, this is the software file, and remaining files are created during the deployment stage using this file. Now this software file is loading in these files in this agent 13.3 home. Okay, right. Now so let us go further. So once you see after deployment what happens, see, agent deployment green ink means agent deployment completed. Agent deployment completed. Only the pending work is, this is not green because root.sh you need to create, you need to execute manually. You need to execute manually. Okay. Root.sh script path also given here if you see. So take this copy and execute in fresh session as root. A fresh session as root. Okay. How do you do that? See, during the installation, you can see all this frequently. Initially only software, later this is the installation and configuration, later once the installation completed, once the cleanup also done, this directory also will be removed. Temporary software directory also will be removed because cleanup will happen. Because the cleanup is the last step. Cleanup is the last step of installation. Cleanup is the last step of agent installation. Okay. Now go down. Step 18. So if you see the step 18, see, agent deployment successful. Agent deployment succeeded. Run root.sh on DB server 1. If it is a DB server 2, DB server 2. See, now you can click the done. Top right corner, done, you can click. Your agent is deployed. Successfully deployed. Very easy agent installation. Very easy. You just have to create one directory and one user, reset the password, make sure it is not expired, make sure it is not locked, and then you open the firewall for port 22, open the firewall for 1835, open the firewall for 4903. Port 22 is to ship the data. I mean, you should ship to ship the software. Port 1835 is for monitoring. Port 4903 in reverse direction to upload, and then go and give the DB server details in the OMS. Go to add targets manually, and after that install agent on host. You click after install agent. You click on install agent on host. Then you select the DB nodes or in which you have to install the software. In the DB nodes, you need to select the directory path U01 agent 13c, and then go ahead and deploy the agent. Then it will be completed in 3 steps. One is initialization, second one is a remote prerequisite checks, and third one is deployment. During initialization phase, software will be copied. During remote prerequisites, it will check the node validity, and during the installation it will deploy the agent, and finally third last it will give the root.sh script. You can execute that script. Simple. This much easily this will be covered. Now once see, I told you, once the agent is installed, that TMP directory gone, software directory cleaned up, only installed directories are there. Software directory cleaned up because it's not required, cleaned up. Okay, so this is how we will install agent. Now see the agent status. After installing agent, you can execute root.sh, or before root.sh as well. You can see the agent is running here. You no need to execute root.sh. After this only you can execute, because by this time agent is up and running fine. See how it is running like this 13.3. See, very beautiful, right? Agent installation. Okay, take this 13.3 and upload port and 1835 monitoring port, and agent is up and running fine. Agent is up and running fine. And after this, yeah, you can execute root.sh. If you execute root.sh, what file is getting created? This agent Vara JC home list. In this, you will find the middleware home of OMS. This is you are on DB server, but middleware home of OMS details will be loaded into this ET Vara GC home list, because there is a strong connection. There is a bonding, right, between this DB servers and OMS, because all this software came from OMS only. So these OMS details you can find in this Vara GC home list. Okay, so now go further. Now once you install, now how you observe? You can observe here two agents are created, two hosts are created. This is a very fresh installation. That's why you can see agents are only two. Otherwise, if there are any other agents running, you can see agent 13, agents 14, agent 10, like that. Agents only two here. Here hosts are two. Hosts are two. In this OMS, from this OMS, there are two agents only pushed. But I told you 3872, there is already one agent is running. Default. That agent is from Vararom. That agent is from gateway server. That I will tell later. This agent, if you see agents are two, hosts are two. Why agents are two and hosts are two? Two agents are monitoring two database hosts. Two database hosts. Okay. Now go further. Go further. Observe there are two agents. Observe there are two agents. Okay. Up and running two. So 100% accuracy with 13.3 version. Okay, now click on this two and you will see two agents. You will see two agents. Okay, so here if you see 1835 one agent is running, 3872 is one agent is running. So this is a different screenshot where one agent is only pushed. No problem. You can click this agent. Target type is agent. If you click this agent link, this link, then you will see the below screen. You will see the below screen. What is the below screen? This is a agent home screen, you can see. This is a agent home. Nothing. You have to go to enterprise, click summary, then you will see that agents up to, click that up to, then you will land in this page. Now click on this. Now you will come to 1830 on over 1835 port. This database host is being monitored. Okay, so this is a agent home. The same way you can see the host home also. Host home also. Host home, how to identify? Go to enterprise and there summary folder, summary link is there. In the drop down of enterprise summary, click summary. Then you will come to the enterprise summary. There host to and up to. Now click on this up to. Then you will see the hosts, that two hosts being monitored. That two hosts being monitored. Okay, so let me take you there. Go down further, click the host up to here. You can identify the host here. Okay, this is a host home. This is the host home. You can click on the host. You can click on the host there. You will be landing in the host home page. In this host home page, you will see CPU memory of the database node. See, in the database node, this is the release. What is the release? Linux release 6.10. Okay, so this release, operating system version, CPU, memory, and kernel release, all this stuff you can see. So means already your agent is installed and monitoring the database server. There are no warnings, 0 and critical is 0. Okay, like this, you can observe monitoring, host monitoring and agent monitoring. That is the end of the class. So I think you enjoyed the class. It is just nothing. Here I will put the screenshot. So it's very easy, very straightforward process, easy and straightforward process. Agent installation. It is just pushing the agent from OMS towards DB nodes. Okay. So we will meet in the next class. I will stop the recording. In next class is Exadata plugin deployment. Exadata plugin deployment. So see you team. We will meet tomorrow.